Good day everyone, I am Laurie Ranyola. I am one of the reporters of Group 7 and we are assigned to discuss the last topic of our subject in PROF.ED7. But before we dig in, before we mag-start og discuss sa inyo sa ang topic, naasa mi activity nga ipahimo sa inyo. So bisag asa pa mo karon, you can still answer. Okay, so the name of our activity is 4 picks 1 word. So I know na familiar na jud kaayo mo ani nga game. So nami 4 ka pictures na i-show sa inyo ha, and hulaan ninyo kung unsa na siya nga word. Unsay isa ka word nga pwedeng mabuo based atong upat ka picture. So are you ready? Okay, let's start. So these are the first 4 pictures. Okay? Nakuha ninyo? Ang pictures ani kay naga-indicate og teacher nga word. Very good. Next one. Okay, next one. Did you guess it right? The next picture indicate the word different. Okay, since makita ninyo dira ang naadyoy naglahi. So ang word dira ang gina-depict ang nga picture is different. Next one. Okay, very easy. The word is classroom. Good job. Next one. Okay, ang word nga nag-indicate ana nga mga picture is deaf and mute. I hope nahulaan jud na ninyo kay very easy lang kayo siya. Next. Okay, the word is blind. Very good. I know na nahulaan po na ninyo. Next. Yes, that is SPED or special education. Now, based on our first activity, naana ba mo hint kung unsa ang atuang or unsa ang amuang topic karon? Yes, you're right. Our topic this morning is all about special education. So I will give the floor to the next or to the first reporter nga mag-discuss o mag-enlighten sa atwa about special education.
Hello everyone, I'm Marvin Baclaan and I am the first reporter of our group. So our topic today is all about special education. So I know no nga kabalo na ta or nanatay idea about special education. But let us broaden our understanding pagyud kung unsa ni special education and how we should manage it as a future educator. So without further ado, let's begin. So, what is special education? Special education, also known as SPED, is a broad term that describes a wide variety of instructional services that are based on a child's individual needs. So, special education involves assisting and teaching children or students with special needs. So, one of the purposes of the program is, of course, to educate the child with individual needs. So basically, it requires a lot of preparation by the teacher or institution kaya syempre, person with disabilities man ang gi-cater. These intervention programs are designed to help individuals with special needs achieve a higher level of personal sufficiency and success in school and in their community. So, goal gyud ani nga programa nga dili lang normal person or like sa atoa ang naay right nga mo eskwela, so gitagaan pud sila og chance nga mo eskwela pod and of course para ma-educate sila, then mahimo kung better ang ilang life kay of course kay as an individual, so even a person with disabilities ka or wala, naghapon kay pangandoy sa imuhang kinabuhi, then therefore masaksit sila sa ilang life, then makatabang sila sa ilang community. So before ta mo proceed kung unsa pagyud ang more information about special education, so let us try to explore first the history of special education. So kanus man ni siya nagsugod and asa pud ni siya nagsugod. Basically, ang history ani special education is nag-start na gid ni siya during in the old times pa, like mga 18th century, ganyan. But dili pa kay siya ingon nga priority dito nga time kay unsa pa man lang tong panahon dugay na kaayo. So mas natagaan siya og pagtagad during na sa 1950s or padulong na sa ato ang time karon. So now let's start sa 1950. So in 1950, this is the formation of American Association of Mental Deficiency. So diri nga time no na hinahinay na og diri na time no mao na ni ang starting sa paglago or pag-prioritize sa special education. So the American Association of Mental Deficiency is mao ni ang beginning sa pag-priority sa mga tao nga naay mental disability. So let's proceed to 1961. Creation of the President's Panel of Mental Retardation. So kani siya is ang president ani nga time is si John F. Kennedy. So nagpatawag siya og meeting or panel discussion about sa special education or mental retardation. So gipangkuha niyang mga scientists, doctors, or other mga professionals and professors para i-discuss ni ing ani nga issue tapos maano pud nila ba nga unsay kailangan unsa pag need nila nga i-improve about education so para pud ma-cater pud ang mga students or mga children nga naay disability. So in 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson signs the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. So diri nga time is si President Lyndon B. Johnson na pud ang president sa Amerika ani, and during man gud ani nga time is also nakaayo ang protest ba against inequality. So nagprotest ang mga parents sa child with disability nga dapat tagaan og freedom or equal na ang tanang tao sa USA. So that's why na-realize ni President Lyndon nga aprobahan na ang Elementary and Secondary Education Act. So ibig sabihin na anay right nga mo eskwela ang mga bata nga with disability sa elementary and secondary education. So let's proceed to 1968. Eunice Kennedy Shriver founds the Special Olympics. So kani si Eunice Kennedy Shriver, she was the founder of Special Olympics game. So actually one of the goal ni Eunice Kennedy Shriver no is dili lang ang normal person or pariha nato ang naay karapatan nga mo attend og sports activities or Olympics. So naapoy karapatan nga mo apil ang mga person with disabilities. So that's why iyahan ni nga gi-implement, and during ani nga time no happy kaayo si Eunice Kennedy Shriver tungod kay allowed na ang mga person with disabilities nga mo perform sa Olympic. And actually Special Olympics game is still existing today, and naagyapoy mga naga-perform or naga-attend ani nga activities or sports para sa mga special person. Now, let's proceed to the year 1975. The Education for All Handicapped Children Act, IHA, was created. So, dini nga time na na-create na no ang IHA. So, it is Education for All Handicapped Children. So, kanabitang mga bata nga or mga tao nga kanang walay kusog or maglingkod lang sa wheelchair. So diha gitagaan na sila education. So hinahinay na sila nga gitrain diri ang time. So diri nga year pod mas gipa-strengthen pa jud ang inclusion of children with special needs into school. Kay ani nga time na anay right ang mga bata nga mo eskwela, then gitagaan pud sila og mga funds or hinabang sa government. So let's proceed to 1986. Amendment to the Education for All Handicapped Children Act. So diri nga time gisugda na pod og include tong mga infant or toddler nga mga bata pa lang. So mao pay pag-anak, gitagaan na sila og assistance sa government kay dito man gud sa previous in 1975 kadto lang mga bata nga 5 to pataas, 5 years pataas ang edad. So diri is give below na nga katong even to mga bag-o pa nga gianak nga na sila assistant sa government and they allowed to school na kung ganahan na sila mag-school, for example 3 to 5 years old. Then let's proceed to another. In 1997, IDEA takes the place of the Education for All Handicapped Children Act. So same lang gud gihapon siya nga ga-cater gihapon og mga Handicapped Children Act as like sa 1986 but always na siya nga naga-improve ba or naay progress. Diri aning time sa 1997 kaning mas gi-ensure na gyud sa president ba in the USA nga all nations na gyud sa ilaha is ma-provide na nila og special education. So katong mga children with disabilities, both states or public agencies. So let's proceed to the year 2002. No child left behind. So during ani nga time no, gi-ensure na gyud na tanan person with disabilities maka-access na sa education. So equal na gyud siya dapat. During manggod ani nga time is ang mga parents ba sa person with disabilities is mahadlok mo pa eskwela or mapa-access og education sa ilahang anak kay uso ba ang discrimination sa mga race or color sa Amerika atong nga time, and therefore kung allow nila ilang anak pa eskwelahon basin og mas ma-discriminate na hinuon. But dinhi agi ensure na gyud sa president nga no child left behind. So tanang mga estudyante, tanang mga children nga naay disabilities allow na nga mo eskwela. Let's proceed to the year 2010. Changing the term mental retardation to intellectual disability. So, ang president ani nga time is si Barack Obama. So, changing mental retardation to intellectual disability siya kaya it is because ang mental retardation manggod is offensive or dili siya allowed sa ilang language. That's why siguro murag discrimination siya so maong giilisan na lang og intellectual disability para unique. Now, let's proceed to the year 2015. The Every Student Succeeds Act was signed by President Barack Obama. So diri nga time no gi-ensure na gyud ni Barack Obama na tanang mga students or pupils both public and private schools should be taught in high academic standards of education. So in short, quality education na gyud tanan. Din diri apod allowed na pod ang parents nga mag-video sa iyang kaugalingon kung unsang iyang ikasuggest or ikadugang about para mas mapa-improve ang special education in the classroom. And therefore, kung allow na siya mag-video, makita na siya sa government, tapos matagaan na nila og action, then mas mapa-improve pa gyud ang special education. So, this also serve as freedom no and equality of people in United States. Now, let's proceed to the history of special education in the Philippines. The special education in the Philippines started in 1908, which the School for Deaf in Harrison, Pasay City was established and marked the official government recognition of obligations towards the education of the handicapped children. So, starting pa lang sa 19th century or 1908, so nanaday special education no about sa mga person with disability dito sa Philippines, but dili pa gyud kay siya ingon nga modernize or improve kay unsa pa man lang tong mga panahona. So, same lang gyapon sa flow sa United States kay sabay-sabay lang man ta sa Amerika kung unsa ilahang decision. So, during 1950s, diha pod na hinay-hinay og improve ang special education sa Philippines kung unsa ang ilahang na-adapt nga pamalaod sa Amerika. Then, until yun na nagka-develop na ang special education, nagka-advance, then more inclusive na siya sa tanan nga school. So then pag abot po sa panahon, may hinahinay na po og abot ang mga rehabilitation and treatment center about mga person with disability. So dirian ay mga training programs about ana nila, then ang mga teacher pod mas kitagaan pud sila pagtagad nga i-train kung unsaon nila pag um, manage ang bata or person with disabilities kung magtudlo na sila. And now, let's proceed to the goal of special education. It states that the ultimate goal of special education shall be integration of mainstream of learners with special needs into the regular school system and eventually in the community to meet the individual educational needs of the learners and to extent possible prepare them for going to a more regular classroom setting. So as what I have said in the beginning, no, one of the goal good sa special education is of course ma-fulfill po ang mga needs sa special child kay kanabitong maka-feel po og comfortable ang mga person with disabilities sa ilang surrounding nga love pa dahil sila or gi-care pa dahil sila. That's why gi-implement ni siya. Tapos access to education para makapadayon sila sa ilang mga goal kay even ingana sila naghihapon na sila yung mga ang pangarap silang kinabuhi o masakses sila sa ilahang life. So that's the end of my report. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Have a great day and God bless.
Good day, good morning once again. So I am the second discussant of our group and I am assigned to discuss who are the students of special education. So let us discuss kung kinsa di ayning mga estudyante nga naa sa special education. So the first students is the autistic students. So autistic students refers to the individuals who have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Autism is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects the way a person communicates, interacts with others, and perceive the world around them. So autistic students often display a range of characteristics and challenges that can vary from person to person. This includes difficulties in social interactions, communications, and they also have repetitive behavior. So in educational setting, it is really important to recognize and understand the unique needs of autistic students to provide the appropriate accommodation to promote their academic and social development. It is also important to remember that autistic students have different strengths and abilities, and with right support, no, they can help or we can help them to strive academically. So maybe some of you are already familiar with autistic students. So autistic students and students with Down syndrome is quite different. So when we say autistic students, dili kayo makita sa ilaha ang facial features nga lahi sila compare sa na ay Down syndrome. Mostly sa mga autistic students are bright. They are very intelligent. They have high IQ. So as teachers, it is our duty to guide them. Okay, to help them enhance their knowledge more, especially when it comes to socializing. Now let's proceed to the second students of special education, which are the deaf and mute students. These are individuals who have challenges with both hearing and speaking. Being deaf refers to a partial or complete inability to hear sound, while being mute indicates an inability to speak or produce clear speech. So deaf and mute students may face unique communication barriers. However, it is really important to note that not all deaf individuals are mute and not all mute are deaf. Many deaf individuals communicate using sign language. It is a visual gesture language that uses hand movements, facial expression, and body language. Most common sign language is called ASL or American Sign Language, but here in the Philippines we also have Filipino Sign Language or FSL. So in addition to sign language, deaf and mute students may rely on other forms of communication such as written language or lip reading. So learning basic sign language or communication techniques can enhance interaction and understandings of deaf and mute students. So kahit basic lang nga sign language ang imuhang nahibalaan, if you're going to do that, if you're going to use sign language to communicate with students, deaf and mute students, dako na kayo nag-impact sa ila. Actually, mahappy na sila nga na willing ka magtuon or na kayo nahibalaan nga sign language. Okay, so the next students of special education is the blind students, and these are individuals who have a complete or partial loss of visions and they faces challenges with seeing. So blindness can be present from birth or occurred later in life due to various factors. It might be because of illness or injury. So for blind students, assessing and processing visual information can be difficult or impossible. So instead, they rely on other senses such as their sense of hearing, their sense of smell, their sense of touch to gather information about the world around them. So Braille is a system that they usually use. They use it for blind individuals when it comes to reading and writing. So teachers, as future educators, can also employ instructional strategies that promotes auditory or tactile learning, utilizing descriptive language, and encourage multi-sensory experience for blind students. So by providing appropriate accommodation and support, well, blind students can fully participate in educational activities and they can engage in learning and their and it will help them in their academic goals. Now let's proceed to the last students of special ed, which is the orthopedic impairment students. So these are individuals who have physical disabilities or condition that affects their ability to move or manipulate objects. These impairments can be congenital or it might be caused by injuries or medical condition. So orthopedic impairments can include conditions like cerebral palsy or limb deficiency. So these conditions may result in limitations in their mobility, their balance, or their strength. So for students with this kind of impairment, it is important to provide the appropriate accommodation and support to help them access education as well as help them to participate in school activities. This may involve providing assistive devices such as wheelchairs or adaptive equipments to ensure their environment accessibility. Okay, so it's really important for us teachers to know about this kind of things because by addressing their unique needs and providing their necessary accommodation, these students can actively engage in learning and achieving their academic goals in life despite having those kind of physical impairments. Now let's proceed to the two main theories of special education. So in special education, the cascade of service and inclusive theories are the two approaches aimed to provide the appropriate support and education for students with diverse learning needs. The cascade of service refers to a hierarchical model where students receive intervention and support in a step-by-step manner, while inclusive theory or inclusive education emphasizes the belief that all students, regardless of their abilities or disabilities, should have the opportunity to be educated in a general education classroom alongside with their peers. So the cascade of service helps identify and provide target interventions, while inclusive education ensures that students with disabilities are included and valued within a general education environment. So by combining these approaches, educators and professionals can strive to meet the unique needs of every student and promote their overall academic social development.
So in continuation to the discussion of Miss Nari, wherein na-discuss niya dito ang mga different challenges sa usa ka students, and also na-discuss niya dito ang rules sa usa ka SPED students. And so now I'll be discussing the rules na pod sa teachers, as special education teachers. So we all know nga special education's teacher deals with kana mga mga students with kanang mga special needs, and they work with students who have kanang mga learning mental or emotional disabilities, and kani sila mga special educator is they are trained to work with learners with wide range of disabilities. So being a special educator, no, there are kanang different rules and responsibilities nga separate from ay kanang sa traditional nga teacher ba or kanang general education nga teacher. So as a special educator, no, it should always have kanang mga certain qualities, including the intuitive, hardworking, and good sense of humor, creative, and love for both children. So, when we say kining mga special education teacher nito, dapat mag-possess sila aning they should possess these certain qualities such as kining intuitive. So, when we say intuitive now, it is the kanang intuitive feeling ba sa usa ka teacher, especially sa special education nga teacher, wherein kanang they could kanang really understand gani sa ma-feel sa uban sa students even if kanang dili nila iingon, like kay ano manggod kay mga certain students manggod is kanang lisod sila kanang it's difficult for them to express their feeling, especially kaning mga sped students, no, nga kanang ano sila kanang they have kanang communication problems. So dapat mag-possess sila ng strong sense of empathy. Maybe kanang maybe ang mga teacher is they felt their kanang pain sa students, joy as if it their own. So a teacher should kanang use his or her intuitive skills to uncover the enlightening reasons behind atong poor nila nga behavior. Another qualities po nga dapat ang mga teacher, special education teacher, is they hardworking. So special education teacher should be kanang dapat sila kanang ani nga quality wherein they must work extra hard pa jud, especially ang ilang gitudluan is kaning mga students nga nay mga special needs. They must work extra hard to kana educate their students. So another qualities is good sense of humor. So it is important for the teacher to have kanang a sense of kanang good sense of humor sa classroom. Kay we all know jud na classroom is a serious classroom is a place of a serious learning, diba? Tama. And dealing with special needs children or students is nag-require din siya ability to create a kind of cheerful environment. So teacher should pamaagi aning good sense of humor is maka-create or ma-improve sa teacher ang ilahang communication sa students through kining telling jokes as a kanang may mo nilang icebreaker ba kay, diba? Some says nga you learn best when you laugh. So dapat na good sense of humor, especially kini mga special education teachers, kay requirement siya the ability to create a cheerful environment. Another is kini creative. So another qualities is kini creative quality, wherein since diba ang mga students is na mga different learning styles, so a special education teacher must have kini ability to adapt lessons that works kanang suit sa kanang each children, no, in a certain circumstances manggod, no, students may function well, but sila problema sa when it comes to their social interactions. So naiuban nga kanang able sila mga maka-perform sa mga basic speaking or motor skills, and other pod is dili pod sila kanang able mga maka-perform ato. So dapat creative ang teachers. They should be creative in order to kanang accommodate all the children's or mga students needs. And special education teacher no must kanang abreast jud sa ilahang effective nga method. And another is kaning love for both children and teaching, no. In addition po no sa qualities nga dapat na ang special educator as a special educator is kining ginatawag nga kanang acceptance, no. Bisan unsa pa na ang mga challenges sa ka students, no. No matter unsa man na siya, as a kanang special educator, you should kanang accept all the kanang your students with kanang interact nimo sila with love and respect, even kanang mga students who are kanang unable to communicate kanang properly, kay it is it is a key to create a sense of value within the classroom, so that ang mga students is na sila yung maximum chances of kanang gaining success. So another qualities no nga ako ay dugang is kining patience jud. I know nga kaning special education teachers is jud sila kanang stressful kaayo for them no nga mag-handle aning mga kind nga mga students nga na mga special needs, no. Kinahanglan ang as a special educator no na jud dapat kay tons of patience, no, a sack of patience jud, kay patience is a must, kay since kini mga type ng mga students is kanang dili sila gani kanang it takes longer to perform simple tasks, even mga simple tasks na sila, pero dili kanang mag-takes yun siya longer time for them. So dapat you should understand them, no, kay understanding is the key for kanang development man. So if dugay siya makahuman ato nga task nga imong gipabuhat, dapat hulaton nimo to siya nga mahuman. And then another is there are two most important qualities for a teacher must possess in order to successfully teach an inclusive classroom. These are the knowledge and the attitude. So according to Dimmer and Akalin, no, the most important qualities daw nga mapossess sa teachers in order for them to successfully teach sa inclusive na classroom is knowledge. So when we say knowledge, no, a special educator should kanang have gani ample knowledge of mga important psychological theories, such as katong kay B.F. Skinner nga katong ihang operant conditioning, or katong kay Piaget's theory katong cognitive development, and mga uban pa nga pedagogical mga principles, no. And kinahanglan nga as a kanang special educator, you should kanang have an effective teacher magod should be kanang knowledgeable enough. So another is gingon diri ani Demer and Akalin is 2013 is kining attitude. So when we say attitude pud, no, it is important pud sa as a special educator nga magpossess ka they should possess kaning attitude, good positive attitude. It is important to possess positive attitude, especially when dealing with persons with special needs, kay the most important mangod for successful implementation of an inclusive approach in the classroom is nagadepende ni siya upon the kanang attitude sa usa ka teachers. The basic needs must be fulfilled in every single child, whether they have a disability or not, in order to learn at their fullest potential. So, according pod kay Arna and Maslow's theory, the basic needs must be fulfilled in every single child, whether they have a disability or not, in order to learn at their fullest potential. So, usa man yung mga basic needs nga giingon din hiya. So, these are kanang mga ang safety sa sa usa ka students, SPED students, no, wherein kanang ano sila ba kanang dapat ano sila conducive ang ilahang environment. And another is kini mga overall wellness nila, whether it is physical, psychological, and spiritual. So it is important na kini nga mga basic needs are kanang ma-met siya and ma-fulfilled in order for the learners in order to learn at their fullest potential. So, dealing with parents of typically developing students. So, teachers need to convey to parents how the classroom is conducted and that all educational needs will be met. So, dealing with parents of typically developing students, no, diri is parental involvement plays jud a critical role, an important role sa students' academic success. So dapat there is a communication between the teacher and they kanang parents, kay by that manggod is through manggod kanang involvement sa teacher o parents is kanang mabalaan sa parents ba if unsay gibuhat sa iyang anak sulod sa eskwelahan, kung unsay iyang ginaano dito ginapakita, and also sa teacher pod maingon pod niya sa parents kung unsa pod ang ginabuhat sa iyang anak sulod sa eskwelahan. And it should be kanang the involvement between the parental involvement, no, between the teacher and the kanang parents. Individualized lesson plans. So diyon na ko ganina no nga dapat kung if we are kanang a special educator should be creative, kay since diba ang mga children is kanang different sila og mga learning styles, and a special education teacher must have kanang the ability ba to adopt lessons na depende sa ilang strengths sa every students. So they should be kanang dapat ang mga teacher is naa sila ay kanang individualized lesson plan, since kay ang mga students baya kay na mga different learning style, they must have the ability to adapt lessons that work with strengths and problems, and we all know nga kini jud siya teachers can ma-challenge jud ang mga teachers ani kay dili man pwede nga kana siya na siya dili man pwede hatagan nimo siya activities nga dili niya kaya i-perform. So dapat there should be kana individualized lesson plans for different needs sa mga special needs sa mga students based sa ilahang ability. So coordinating therapy. So special needs inclusion classrooms needs to be well organized and allow for students to attend therapy sessions. So sa inclusion nga classroom, no, it should be kanang organized, kay at the same time manggod kay dira gina ano ba ang mga since di ba kay ang mga students ni SPED ano siya na siya mga special needs. So dapat organize imong classroom para kay dira man at the same time mahitabo ang mga therapy sessions sa mga students. So it should be kanang organized. So truly know that kadtong mga traits na akong gipaingon, special education teachers jud is nag-require jud siya og mga various number of skills different from kanang sa traditional jud nga mga teachers or educators. Kato akong gipang mention is ano na to siya, just few ra to siya sa mga characteristics pa sa mga special ed teachers, no, few lang to siya. And that create an environment that works well for students within physical and emotional disabilities. So if kadto siya akong gipang-ingon nga mga qualities, those those virtues or katong mga traits nga akong gipang-ingon gaina sa mga special ed teachers is if ma-apply to sa mga teacher, no, if ma-apply to sa mga special ed teachers, truly that kanang sure jud nga mag-thrive ang isa ka students. And that ends my part. Thank you.
Good day, sir. Good day, classmates. For the continuation of the report, so natin duha ka daily activities for teaching in special education. So first is pack your backpack. So the aim of the game is that the children with special education needs don't forget anything, but also they don't have to pack things that they will need. So when we say pack your backpack is isa ni siya ka daily activity or kada adlaw-adlaw na buhatan sa bata, which is pag-prepare nila sa ilang mga gamit sa eskwelahan, especially katong mga gamit na angay nilang gamiton anang adlaw. Ang aim or goal aning nga activity is dili lang aron dili sila makalimot, but also aron sad sila ipack tong mga gamit na dili angay gamiton. Then, ang ikaduha is, what is the best thing to do? Teach the children to question several aspects of situation they may encounter in their daily lives and weigh the consequences of their decision. So, isa ni siya ka worksheet, no? Like, kanang mga test paper, like anang mga ingana. Then, kanang where we teach children to question several aspects of situation they may encounter in their daily lives. Then, ang mga real life situation bita or real life scenario ani wherein magamit ilang decision making and then mag-analyze sila og unsay angay nilang buhaton or decision ana na situation. And that's what we all.
Good day everyone. My report today is all about classroom management in special ed. Classroom management is the process that teachers use to ensure that classroom lesson runs smoothly without disruptive behavior from student compromising the delivery of instructions. First, greet your student personally. This is a first technique of this is the first day school technique. Greeting your student as they come into your school should happen all long years. Greeting your student, especially if it is your first meet, so that maunawaan sa imong mga estudyante na sincere ka and that seryoso ka sa imong pagtudlo sa ilaha kay sa kanibaya na klase nga pagtudlo, you will be dealing with people with special ability and needs. Ikaduha, set clearly expectation. If you want your student to be respectful, you must tell them that. You as a teacher, you also have to set your expectation to your student and your class. Samaan ng ikaw as a teacher, ingnon nimo sa imong mga estudyante na they have to be respectful so that they will also be respect or kanang ingnon nimo sila kung unsa imong butang nga ganahan o dili ganahan. Ikatulo, assume the best. Your student will behave as you expect to them. Kaning assume the best, di ba kay ang student with special ability and needs man jud ang ma-encounter ani sa no. So dapat kaya nimo ni sila ma-behave o kanang kaya nimo sila papaminawon sa imo o kaya nimo sila nga ma-handle sa isa ka classroom. Pangkaupat, demonstrate. It's likely you have a certain procedure designed to make each day run smoothly. sama sa akong sama sa ako ang gibalik-balik. It is a special kind of education and lahi-lahi na klase sa estudyante imong pwede ma-encounter, so dapat na kay mga strategy as a teacher na mahimo nimong smoothly ang dagan sa inyong klase every time mo mag-meet para makakaton sila ug para maminaw sila sa imo. For example, kato si Sir Bacaro sa microeconomics, unsa to yung ginabuhat sa atoa para makasabot ta. Ginapasabot yun yan sa para sa atoa, ginatamban-tamban niya ang pagtudlo para makasabot yun ta, ginapangutan na ta siya para makasabot yun ta. O, pangkalima, find the right tone of voice. Using the wrong tone can have refreshing effect, especially from your at-risk student. Diri sa tuno sa imong tingog. What if di ay na kay mga estudyante na sensitive when it's come to pananalita or kanang mga parehas anang mga victim sa trauma na estudyante, tapos ang imuhang inistoryahan kay pinasingka unya na truman baya na no, and so kato na estudyante bisag tabangonon na hinuon to, so dapat careful sad ta sa sad ta jud ka as a teacher. Oh, that's all my report, and thank you.